Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the third, I believe, of March episode of my fantabulous live stream. This is the live stream where we have beverages, we have blades, and we often do, in fact, talk about something bushcraft related. But before we get on with that, I'm going to do the weekly housekeeping. That's the part where I say that if you are watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whatever, thank you for the eyes. Thank you for the comments that I sometimes see showing up in the doobly-doo below. Thank you for bearing with me while I turn off the Wi-Fi and hope nothing glitches. I think we're good. Thank you for spending your time with me and with the peeps in the side chat, even though you cannot actually participate in it live. And for your patience when I say, as I often do, that tea is a good drink. So the only thing I really have to talk about tonight, briefly, is that I ordered Chris's book, and I have just finished another book, so I will get on this post-haste so that we can talk about it more in depth in an upcoming live stream. And I'm looking forward to manufactured by Amazon.ca, Bolton, Ontario. Okay. I'm kind of envious of a finished book because I have half finished multiple books, multiple collections of short stories, multiple efforts like that, and I never quite got all the way through. And then, as I told you guys, I lost everything a few years ago now. And though I miraculously found a bunch of things while going through piles of paper while I was sort of cleaning up my life here, none of them were the half-done books or stories. A lot of poetry, which I have piss off transferred into this notebook that I call the Boneyard. Some of which hasn't made it into this book because I wrote a lot of really crappy stuff. So transcribing everything into my Boneyard gave me the opportunity to sort of edit things, salvage what could be salvaged, and just toss that which could not. I wonder what I'm going to do with these. A few of them got published back in the day, but I don't know. It was just sort of cathartic to, well, finding them all was, I guess, a relief in some way. Yeah, I'd call that a relief. And I thought maybe the universe was telling me that I had an opportunity to sort of revisit them and clean them up a little bit. Cut the wheat from the chaff, as it were. I do kind of wish I'd found some of those old stories, though. And these days, I don't have the time I used to. You know, I did a lot of my writings either sitting at a campfire or sitting in a cafe in some city somewhere, you know, younger, thinner, less constrained by life, you know. And also, even though I don't feel much at the best of times, it's still daunting to try to get back into something after having lost like 3 solid decades of work. But yeah, so so I had to celebrate Chris completing stories by supporting him in this latest effort, and I'm going to read it, and then I will talk to you guys about it. Let's say hi to everyone who's hanging with me. I want to know if Paul's here because I got whiskey later. Oh, so many comments. Country Boy, yay Tuesday at 8:04. Oh, there's Paul, popping in at 8:05. Excuse me. Oh, I just did a little burp, and I tasted an A&W Uncle Burger. Country Boy, by the way, is a channel mod and a channel hero. Yes, Paul. So here's what I'm having tonight. Loch Lomond 12. This was the official spirit of the Open, and I believe it did not happen this year because of COVID. So this was my first review on like January 2nd of 23, 24, something like that, I believe. And I haven't gone into it that often since. 12 years, 46% ABV. As I have said many times on my whiskey channel, 45 and up I'm okay with. I really prefer it around 50-ish, but 46 is fine by me. I do not remember about chill filtering or caramel coloring, but they are very proud to say that Loch Lomond whiskies are proud to be the official spirit of the Open, golf's original championship. I know it says smooth to perfection, but I don't know what the hell. That might mean it is chill filtered though, because when you're chill filtering, you're taking out a lot of the character. I mean, some people say that's an overreaction, but you know. So I've chosen this because I'm getting down to bottle down territory. I think I've shown. Did I show you guys this? This is off center. No, I was talking to my fiddler about that. Anyways, I'm really trying to bottle down my heels before I go opening any new bottles from now on. Not from now on, but I mean at the moment. Canadian popping in with all the usual emojis. Canadian also sent me a picture of all the knives he's sharpened up tonight. Country is asking Paul if he's ever cracked that Kildara. I still haven't seen a Macaloni's in a long time. I think I've only ever seen one here in Quebec. Chris popping in at number 3. Chris, who is a channel mod. And he popped in at number 3 at the ripe old hour of 8:27. Chris is in Iowa, headed to North Carolina tomorrow. Destiny's picking up pizza because there's no charcuterie board tonight. Oh my land! Whoa, what's going on? Why is there no charcuterie board? Are you as solo as I am tonight? I am alone in this house right now. My kids, so it's March break, so both my kids are at Grandmama's on the lake. The madame probably there now to pick them up and bring them home. And then I believe tomorrow they're off to Valcartier, something like that, just north of Quebec City. There's an indoor water park and stuff, and they're gonna have some fun. So I'm alone this week. I gotta try and get some personal projects gone out of the way. You know, on a week when I don't have to do supper and bedtime and all that stuff. I'm also practicing a lot of bass because St. Pat's is coming up, and we're using a different fiddler than our OG. for the first time in like 24 years, 23, 24 years. So the guitarist and I have to be solid, which we generally are, but also she came with a whole bunch of songs. She's one of our fill-in fiddlers that we use a lot, and she's very good, and the audience loves her. She's from Galway. Sings great at sort of interacting with the audience, and she feels like just a natural part of the band. So I have no problem learning 10 songs. Probably won't learn 10, but like learning a whole bunch of songs in short order, because I think she's worth it as a collaborator. Getting veggie, pepperoni, and meat lovers delight. So I was ordering a pizza in Vancouver at the ripe old age of, I don't know, 17, when I discovered that all dressed is a Montreal thing. That in that most of the country you order like the sprinklings, the ingredient, the things you put on the pizza, whatever toppings. Because here, all dressed, or pizza all dress, or an all dressed pizza is pepperoni, green peppers, mushrooms. Pepperoni, green peppers, mushrooms? Yes. The place I was ordering from in Vancouver, and I believe it was, I don't think this is a Vancouver thing. I think it's that pizzeria in North Vancouver in like the late 80s, early 90s, probably more like early 90s, called that a Montrealer. They also had something called Deluxe, which was different. But anyways, I felt kind of stupid. Yeah, I'll take an all-dressed pizza. And they're like, so does that mean you want everything in the store on it? And I'm like, no, I mean pepperoni and green pepper and mushrooms. I said, we call that a Montrealer. I said, this is awkward because I was just there all year. Chris likes that pizza party. Destiny? Yeah. Oh no, it's because the hubby forgot about prepping the charcuterie, so you got his two faves. I love it. If I forget something, I don't get my favorite pizzas. Yeah, pizza. Maybe he did it on purpose. Oops, I forgot. Destiny's enjoying Chris's book. Going to order the rest to read on your mini vacation in May to Puerto Barquiardo, your favorite destination. So in that case, I will hurry up and read it so that we can discuss. I'm hoping that someone else has also ordered it to read. Hey, there's Mark. Puerto Barquiardo, been there many times. Me too. Me too. Chris has had that story in his head for as long as he can remember, at least 30 years. What's heck? I just started writing it out. Something I always wanted to do. Yep, I understand that. I've got a book or two in me. Let me tell you, just never have it the time. Canadian wants it to be spring soon. He's over winter. I was just having this conversation with someone today. But I don't remember who, so never mind. I'm going to move on. There's Christy Grounds saying hi to everybody. And I'm not doing it this time. I'm just scrolling past the hi and hello and hey, how's it going? Hi, fine, and you? Blah, 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 blue. Canadian is still looking forward to spring. I guess I'm a little tired of winter as well. I mean, I've done a whole bunch of shoveling. And lately it's been kind of, not too bad tonight, but we've had a couple of kind of cold-ass days in recent weeks. Country boy, how are you doing, mister? Oh my God, Paul, I understand what you just said. I do. Somewhere in my house is a bottle of the Thunder Chicken, and I have no idea where it is. It's not a full bottle, it's like a half. And of all the wild turkeys, the 101 so far is my favorite one. I can't foresee myself trying any others for the foreseeable future, or that one again. But I have no idea where it is. And that makes a killer cocktail, that stuff does. No idea. Give it to Instigator popping in saying, hello, peeps. How you doing, Mr. Instigator? How's the instigating going tonight? Hike with Mike saying hi from the swamps of Florida. Bet you're not camping this week, though. Russell wants to survive the zombie apocalypse. Let's go. How many of you guys have read World War Z? Z? World War Z? It's a play on words for World War III. It's a play on words for World War III. World War Z. Not World War Z. Moving right along. Homie, you're on time today. Yes, you are. And I was on time today, by the way. I did not have to run to start up this thing like at 9:05 or something. Oh, it tastes such a good drink. I should have cracked a beer to celebrate this beautiful solitude. I make it sound like I don't like my family. I deeply miss my girls, but it's just so nice to not have been running for once. David was just in Dunedin to see a Blue Jays game. Training camp. Country Boy says that the audio sounds like poop. Who else thinks that the audio sounds terrible? Oh, Paul reorganized his whiskey stash recently. Okay, I get it. I'm looking to see if anyone else has comments about my. Oh, thank you, Homie, doing the God's good works by telling everyone to hit that there thumbs up. Just scrolling on the yeah. There's Beto too. How's it going, Beto? No, seriously, guys. How's? I wonder if I'm peeking. Hold on, I can't see the. Hello, hello, hello. No, I'm not peeking. Or at least I don't see peeking on the machine, on the box. Real Grace, help everyone. I think that means hello, everyone. I got to scroll down and see if everyone else thinks that I've got crappy sound going. Russell saying hello to everyone and welcome to this. That I love that statement. Welcome to this. I have not used it because that to me is a Russell statement. And once I sort of said pea soup to everyone, sort of as an homage to Russell, but no, don't go stealing each other's shift. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the support, Chess. Yeah, you're one of my mods, dude. I think I can toss a little support your way for once, especially for something that I respect as much as writing a book. So, you know. I think Russell's doing the whole thing, the whole bit. I keep scrolling because I want to know if anyone else thinks that my sound is shite. I'm scrolling. Lila, 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 la, la. Hike with Mike says, It's always good to write down ideas and feelings and stories. It is definitely good medicine. Yes, I used to do that all the time, incurably. One thing I do have in the back of my planner, I have on the back of my planner, I have the Millennium Falcon, which is where I would dearly love to live. But in the back, I keep what is in the journaling world called a commonplace book. So whenever I come across, like, somebody says something I find really interesting or cool, I add it into the book. These are just like little quotes I come across. Either somebody said something, or I read something or heard something, like even on a TikTok or a YouTube. And like if I do a minor deep dive on something that interests me, that goes into the commonplace book as well. Now, a commonplace book is not a new thing. They go way back, hundreds and hundreds of years. And in fact, families used to have commonplace books that sort of almost like the family encyclopedia in some ways, that sort of went down through the generations. Many of the philosophers and great people in European history that we know of had commonplace books. And I think it's a really nice place to, I was about to say it's a nice place to be, but that's a little too out in left field. But what I mean is, I like having a commonplace book just to add little things that I come across and I find interesting. And then you can flip back through it, a few days, weeks, months, or years later, and like, oh yeah, that is cool. I wish I'd said that. Excuse me. I also, like, you guys know, I've got like journals. Oops. I got 2 journals there. Like, that's my 5-year journal, and that is my daily. I write down stuff all the time. I didn't used to, but now that I know, I've got kind of what I call a gimpy brain, that my therapist and my coach both say is not the right way to see it. But it sounds funny to me. But like now that, since getting my diagnosis, it has helped keep my demons at bay. So I do like it. I do need to have nice pens, though. Like I need to have a nice journal, nice pens. I'm not one of these guys who can get away with just like a ballpoint in a line journal. I like to use things that give me the fizz, whether that's the 2 bass guitars that I've honed my collection down to are both basses that, like, I pick them up and I'm like, yeah. To pens, paper, computers. I will gladly save up extra time to buy the Gransfors Brooks instead of buying the, Chinesium axe at Canadian Tire, right? To me, it's worth it to save up extra time to buy the version of something that just gives me the fizz. So my journaling habit is not the cheapest habit in the world. It's not the most expensive, though. I mean, I know people who will throw like $600 at a journal. I don't make enough money for that to be less than a ridiculous concept. Scrolling. La 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 la. Why? Ads, okay. David has been to Loch Lomond. So when I first saw a Loch Lomond whiskey, they haven't been selling under their own name like for that long. They used to make for blends and stuff, but So the battery pack that I have stuck, it's not a battery pack. The power adapter that I have stuck into the battery area on my phone just went boom, on my camera just went and fell out. So I had to put that back in. Yeah, so when I first saw a bottle of Loch Lomond, I thought of 1010, right? Because Captain Haddock drinks Loch Lomond whiskey. The bottle does not look the same, and it's not a reference to real Loch Lomond because those were written way before Loch Lomond was bottling its own whiskeys. Destiny has a bushcraft question. Did I understand correctly that Sean James is looking to move to the States? I have no idea. I haven't been watching him lately. I haven't been watching a lot of bushcraft or homesteading related stuff. I've told you guys it's because it makes me feel too bad about the fact that I'm not getting out there. Okay, so Mark also thinks that I don't sound the same. Hold on. Just let me take a look. Oh yeah, it sounds all echoey. Hold on a second here. Nope. Wait, actually, does that sound better? What do you guys think? And I can try that. I want to get this squared away fast. And then if I add the echo cancellation in. Is that dropping my volume out too much, guys? What do you guys think? It sounds better to me, for sure. Are we going to call this a win then? You guys are funny. You guys are hilarious. Okay. I'm going to take my cans off because, testicle 1, 2, 3. For God's sakes. Yeah, the volume is low. Hold on. I think I can fix that. I don't want to go too hard on the volume, right? Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Hey, welcome to my fabulous show. That's a little higher. I think I'm going to call that a win. Yeah, I don't want to go any higher than that just for fear of peaking. Tea is a good drink. Alrighty. I don't know why that is doing that, but it's not. That messed up sound was not the mic because the controls in this app were changing it. Like if it was an actual problem with the sound getting through here into the computer, I would have had to mess more with the other things and like the actual sound control panel on the computer. But no, it's in this app, which I pay for. Anyways. Okay, so I think we got that squared away. Yeah, we do. We sure do. Paul tonight is having a Tullabarden 228 Burgundy finish, 43%. I have not tried that yet. I mean, I've sort of walked past Tullabarden bottles a couple of times, but I never. I can only buy so many bottles in a year, you know. But how is that? Because Burgundy finish. Wine finishes are either really, really cool and interesting or really don't work for me. Like it's never sort of in the middle. I like a Sauternes finish fairly often. I've had a couple and I liked them. Dessert whiskey though, right? That's a sweet taste. No, I saw that you mentioned it, but it was like you were the only one for the longest time. So I was like, oh, well, if he's the only one, then what's going on? What's happening? What is there a ghost in the machine? Is there? I'm gonna say that if he's joining me in a whiskey tonight, then yes, dry month is over. Country. Okay, so as you guys know, our actual OG fiddler, he's lived in Calgary for 15 years or something, and so he hasn't been able to get here. Well, he used to come back every month, you know, 2 kids, wife, a job where he's always traveling. So now he can come every couple of months, kind of thing. On top of it, the reason he's not coming for St. Patty's is he's got his shoulders messed up from fiddling, and he's waiting on surgery. So whereas he, you know, coming for a weekend or doing the Alberta gigs is fine, but St. Pat's is so intense that he wouldn't make it. So that's where we're using it. One of our fill-in fiddlers. Christy has ordered the book and will read it on vacation for your birthday. Country Boy is still waiting for the missus to finish so you can read Chris's book. She's slow. Well, you guys have got to get on it because once I'm finished reading it, I'm going to want to talk about it now. David also has Chris's book and will be starting it soon. Almost finished your current book. Yeah, I had to finish the book before I started it as well. When I was young, like a teenager, I was a 2 book a week person and sometimes started one before ending the other and just read either one on at a time. Russell is so effing tired of winter. That I believe because it has treated you and your house badly of late. Canadian, this is the book. The Broken Road Home. A story of hope, healing, and forgiveness. It's available on Amazon.ca, which is where I got it. David is also freaking sick of winter. In fact, he's sick and tired of winter in Florida. Headed north next week. Welcome home ahead of time. Everyone's got an ad again. Russell wants me to move my mouth away from the mic and talk for a sec. That's where I am right now. It's frustrating because this mic is meant to be spoken into like really close up, right? It's a radio mic, you know, so you're supposed to be right close to it. But I find that there's something in my setup that it doesn't work properly that way. Right? Because what happens is back here, it'll still pick me up, but like the richness of tone that you want for like a radio show and a podcast or a live stream, you have to talk a lot closer. But then I start peaking and stuff, even though I don't see peaking, right? I don't know. I'd like to get someone I know who works in radio or something to just come over one day and put on the cans and help me mess with my setup. Because maybe there's something in this signal chain. Oh, it's a pretty simple signal chain, though. Country Boy puts his browser in theater mode and you don't get ads. I don't have YouTube Premium. I do not even know what theater mode is. I have never even heard of such a thing. Russell says I might be using the wrong mic. I mean, it's hard to get the wrong. I mean, if you're using like a $20 mic that sounds like a can, then yeah, sure. But I mean, if you're using a good mic, it's pretty hard to get the wrong mic. Oh, I can use Welcome to This for $1 per use. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, and it can't be because this is literally the only mic I have attached to this system. Like, there's a mic on top of that camera, but it's not plugged into the camera. There's no mic on my Mac Studio. No mics on my monitors. Like, this is the only this is the only mic I have right now. I had thought maybe it was using this mic, but I checked and it's not attached. Sorry. We had a common book for our staff years ago, and it was hilarious. Interesting. Interesting. Quotable quote from the staff book, circa 1993-ish. Quick, I need someone to jump me. It was minus 40 and she needed a boost. Fair enough. David says, my Rosecraft Mosquito Lake Moose pocket knife is still out of stock. Yeah, I keep looking at it. I really want to get that thing. Country Boy says, that sounds like something I would say, but it wouldn't have anything to do with my truck. La 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 la. Okay, that was where I was trying to get the mic issues to stop. Scrolling. La 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 la. Time to pour. Oh yeah, it's 21:40. Shite. Oh shite. Oh, time to pour, 21:48. So I'm a little early. Sorry, Paul. Better early than late. Fitzy says, quotable quote number 2 from the staff book. The officer asked to see my pink slip. I told him no. He asked me why. I responded, it's not pink. Okay. Country Boy is never the problem. Good to know. I mean, it's good to be aware. Serge popping in. Saw the technical difficulties and figured you'd say hello. How you doing, mister? How are things out there on this night of nights? Oh ho, David noticed that there's 23 watching and only 13 thumbs ups. What's going on? I mean, because until I reload the YouTube screen, I'm only going to see 2 thumbs ups. I say boo. I don't know what that means. Uh-oh, Sean says it's 30 below zero again for the last week, ready for spring. 30 below zero in degrees freedom is cold. I mean, 30 below in Celsius is cold too, but like, because zero is already. So I know that degrees Fahrenheit, the distance between 2 degrees is actually a lot smaller than Celsius, but look, 30 below is cold no matter how you slice it. Degrees Canadian, degrees freedom. Kelvins. Actually, that would be really cold. Minus 30 kelvins? Yikes. I don't know why I went there. That was geeky. That was like science geek. Shouldn't have gone there. We're just going to pretend I didn't. Chris created the cover on Canva and used the Kindle book, KDP book cover creator to do the finish from front and back, spine and all the writing during the publishing. David likes the mic that Raspberry Rock uses. Sounds good. And the tuck tape is a nice touch. Are we back on the tuck tape? Really? Really? Is that what we're doing again? Evidently we are. Evidently we are. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Sean in Alaska was eating chicken. I had me an Uncle Burger with cheese and bacon and onion rings and a root beer from the friendly neighborhood A&W, because I am alone tonight. We got Marcel popping in, saying hi to everybody. How you doing tonight, Marcel? So, Marcel, last time you were around, you said that you might be moving. Has that happened yet? I've been not keeping up with my online duties, so I don't know what everyone's situation is. Like, I know Russell, he had to abandon his cabin for a while, but I don't know. A couple of people now have mentioned Sean James's changes or whatever, and I haven't seen a Sean James video in so long that I didn't even know about it. I did see a short from him when I was getting ready to set this up, and he was saying that he was shutting down one channel, shifting everything to the stuff where he explains to a new channel, and all the stuff where he doesn't talk and he just does stuff is going to stay on My Self-Reliance. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. So I mean, you haven't moved yet, have you, Marcel? I think you were sick, weren't you? Or maybe not sick, maybe just a little under the weather. Oh, yes, you were. Lingering cough, and it's all good. Last week was horrible. Oh, Bisquick chicken. I have not had a box of Bisquick for a long time. I used to use it for my pancakes, but you can use it for anything. I put that on anything. Everyone's saying hi to each other, so I'm skipping on past. Skipping on past. Just skipping on past. Yeah, exactly, Sean. 30 below absolute zero. Like, tap yourself and you shatter. Marcel is going to order the copy soon. But Marcel, mine's not a digital, right? This just arrived yesterday, but like some of you haven't gotten around to reading it yet. So let's not have that conversation until a few of you have read the book, and I have, but I'm starting tomorrow. So everybody, let me know when you've finished or like have gotten halfway through, and then I'll call the book talk for that week. Sean James is in Arizona.
Is he in Arizona permanently, or is he down there for the winter? Marcel is still in the boonies for now. Market is terrible for selling homes here right now. Yes, that I have heard. You were ridiculously sick last week. That sucks. Especially because you got a whole family and everyone. Oh, were they taking care of you? David Instagram, the housing market in Florida is bad too. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there's Mr. Jim, seeing us all in 30, maybe. Safe drive. Good old Sean. Sean and Jesse geeking out together. Yep, paper copy. Skip, yes, they are equal at minus 40. I don't know if it's exact or if it's like within a decimal point or two, but yeah, minus 40 is where they meet. Dude, of course I'm a nerd. Millennium Falcon on the back of my planner because it's where I want to live. Of course. I mean, also Studio Ghibli character. I mean, some things are just worth being a nerd about. Marcel prefers actual books. I do as well. But as someone who has recently off-gassed half of his book collection, um, I do love the idea of not being crowded, if you know what I mean. But I do like I like the sensual aspect of having an actual book. I don't mean sexual in like essential in the sexy way. I mean the being able to touch paper, smell smell paper, read something that's not backlit, hold it in my hand, bend the cover back on it just to watch like all the people who collect books, to put on the shelf freak out. I smell whiskey. Uh, Canadian says, if I heard him correctly, they're searching for property in the south. Interesting that he's doing that at this time. Can't say I respect that. But I don't know. I mean, look, there's a lot of reasons to move south if you're getting up there in age, right? There's a lot of health reasons why you would want to move south, especially to somewhere kind of dry like Arizona. So I mean, that was me not being fair at all. The South and the U.S. are more in tune with his self-sufficient beliefs. Yeah. So one of the reasons I stopped sort of watching him all the time was because he was giving his reasons for something at one point. Yeah, he was talking about setting up a small community of like-minded individuals, and like-minded individuals is always a red flag for me about what that means. And yeah, okay. I mean, look, I'm not gonna whatever. I'll either go and watch some stuff and understand, or I won't. But it's his life, not mine, right? Yeah, man, that's good to know. I'm trying. I'm trying to nerdify my daughters too, but one of them's she doesn't even read anymore. If I wanted Camille to read a book, I'd have to print it on a basketball. I'll go and try to find that video, Canadian. Gabriel Iglesias comedy skit about the tutu pew pew is hilarious. Fluffy is funny. That guy is hilarious. But I don't know the skit that you're talking about. Excuse me. Sorry about the snorking and stuff, but my sinuses are going nuts on me again. I need to regularly de-dust. What? I need to regularly dust this entire room. He and his wife have taken handgun courses. I mean, you can't buy a handgun here anymore, right? I think weren't they put on the prohibited list? Little Fish says, one of my favorite smells in the world is Barnes and Noble printed paper and coffee. The best. I used to go into Chapters a lot, and then Indigo, and then when Indigo bought Chapters, I guess just Indigo, but it was the same thing. It's kind of same idea, but here in Canada. But yeah, I do like sitting in a cafe with a magazine or a book and a laptop. When I was writing all the time, I spent a lot of time in cafins. I was going to say in cafins. That's not even a real word. In cafes, with book, magazine, notebook, laptop. It's like that's a good way to spend your time. Having a nice hot beverage, maybe a little slice of cake or something, and just reveling in words. Sean has a few leather-bound collections on Heat Dog Ears, even those. Fair enough. I think that is perfectly fine. Books, in my opinion, are meant to be used, not just placed. Christy is asking if everyone has clear skies to see this moon. No, I do not. In fact, anytime there's anything interesting celestially happening, Montreal is overcast every single time. Parade of Planets, didn't see a damn thing. Funky Moon, don't see it. The last time there was a total eclipse, I took my girls to the park to see it, and I was jubilant because I had missed everything up until that point. I was like, what do you mean it's not going to be cloudy? We're going to the park, girls. Uh-oh, it just jumped back to the beginning again. Fudge. I'm gonna find my spot. Sean says, I punish my daughters. When they're younger, I would never send them to their rooms. They would just read. I sent them outside to play and made sure they didn't sneak any books out. I love it. Sean, I think you and I are of a similar generation. I'm Gen X. That we were the generation that our parents kicked us outside in the morning and said, "Don't come back till the streetlights come on." But I was an avid reader. I would have been perfectly happy just lying on my bed with a bunch of books around me. Marcel likes the new word caffeine. That's not even a French thing. I don't know what the hell I was saying there. I was about to read this. I'm going to do it anyway. I just noticed. The worst pub I ever went to was called The Fiddle. It was a violin. Yeah, exactly, Country Boy. That is a quality dad joke. Absolutely. Paul, did you pour your drink? Your beverage? We're at 21:55. Oh, is that a 3-year? Oh, you're the tail end of the boomers. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have another sip of my tea. I'm just waiting for that whiskey. Must wait. Must wait. Must do ASMR while I'm waiting. Oh, mom duty's calling Marcel away for a few minutes. That's fine. That's great. We'll just sit here and wait. You guys sitting here and waiting? Yes, Paul's whiskey is poured. Good to know. Homie just picked up the perfect camp kitchen knife. Is it in my Instagram yet? In my messages? What is it? What'd you get? What didst thou get? I still would like to get the Groman number 4 in the flat ground as my kitchen knife. I think that would do better than the Scandi or Saber or whatever it is that I got. The thing is, when you buy it as a kit, essentially what you're doing is buying something that would have been a B grade knife. I guess, I don't know, but whatever it is, you don't get the same kind of choices. Like you can't choose the scales material and you can't choose the grind. But I think that the Groman number 4 flat ground stainless, that's what I would like to get for my camp kitchen knife for sure. Fitzy is asking, Country Boy, did BC stop the daylight savings thing yet? I know they've just voted on it, but I don't know if they're doing it this year or next, or if like this will be their last year. Because I know that they're going to do the next change, and then I think they're stopping. I mean, I wish Quebec would do the same. Quebec has a law in the books that if Ontario and I believe New York State stop the time switch, then we automatically do as well, because Ontario and New York State are sort of our two biggest trading partners. Well, maybe not New York State anymore, but anyway, so that's the way the law works. If I remember, yes, I shall try that statement again, if I remember correctly, or at least that was the language that was being voted on. I don't know if it went through or not. Spyderco Funayuki, Murray Carter. I will look it up and then I will share screen. Oh, not found. The page you were looking for does not exist. What? Ooh. I'm going to share this and you, it's in my Instagram. Okay. Oh, come on, fool. No, that's my wrong account. That's my band account. Give me a second here, people. Just let me get this squared away. Nope, that's my personal account. Where's my rent? Ah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Let me do this so that the name doesn't show up. Hold on. Let's drop the, no, that's the volume, you fool. This is what I want to drop. Yeah, I love me some Japanese style kitchen knives. So that's like a $200 knife. Well, Blade HQ has it for 156. That's definitely US dollars. Nice knife, for sure. Yeah, I see it's a 6.375. Yeah, this weekend is the last time change in BC, and then I guess it's just gonna be Pacific time, right? Rather than Pacific Standard and Pacific Daylight saving, whatever the heck the term is. Leave me alone. Oh, it's 10. Paul. Oh, hey, Country Boy, are you having a beverage with us? A 10 o'clock tipple? Mm-hmm. There we are. Who's having whiskey? Well, who's having a drink at all? Russell, what are you drinking? David, are you having a beer or a whiskey or something with us? What's the steel on yours, homie? Because I see like a polymer handle with a blade of CTS BD1N or a G10 handle with 410. I'm guessing stainless. Like it. Paul is doing Slanja. Country Boys finishing off that Rito. Did you ever come around on that? Because I do remember you being not bitterly disappointed, but a little let down by it. A little too rye-ish. Did you ever come around on it, or is that bottle you're just not going to replace? There are some good whiskeys that I'm not going to replace. There's just too much whiskey out there. What are you having, Christy? You're having that bourbon? There's a bit of peat on that. I've forgotten about that. Or something smoky. Whew, I cannot read that writing. I am way, way, way too old for this. Deep, fruity, yes, absolutely. Peach and pear, yeah, I get that. Layered with a vanilla something. Residue? No, that's not it. Yeah, that's the American oak. Characteristic hint of peat and smoke found in Loch Lomond whiskies. Aged and fine in three types of oak, of cask: bourbon, refill, and reclaimed. I can hardly read this. It's way too small. I mean, I could just put my damn glasses on, but I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed. It's been a long time since I've had this, so I'd forgotten about the peat. It's not overpowering or anything. It's just a little bit. Christy's having nothing tonight. Okay. That's fine. It's not as bad now as it was. Oxidation from being opened a while helped it. You will not replace it at this time. There's so many great bottles out there. I mean, there's always another fabulous bottle out there, right? Going with the G10. Steel wasn't familiar with, but it's made in Japan. So I was in, yeah. I would love a set of Japanese knives, but I will not buy one. This family, this household would not be good to them. Nummy. What the hell was I about to say? It's gone. It's absolutely gone. But yeah, the Spyderco looks like getting kind of a Japanese knife for. Yeah, I would use it as a camp knife too, I think. Yeah. I would make a nice leather sheath for it to keep it protected while it's being jounced around in my backpack or my kitchen supplies. It should have a sheath. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. Oh, okay. So the polymer and the CTS, that's not the same knife. That's the Minarai Funayuki. I have a Funayuki. No, I don't. What the hell's mine called? It's sort of the same blade shape, a little bit. I don't remember. Anyway. You're going back to the BC bourbon analogs. Yeah, I got to get more of those too. I believe Ontario and Nova Scotia are about to allow direct sales to the home of booze, which is a nice step. I do wish Quebec would do the same. I also wish that the intra-national free passage of goods had included booze. Peanut Trucker would love some Japanese knives also while I learn to cook Japanese. My fiddle player has a very nice set of Japanese knives. Unbeatable. Absolutely unbeatable. Very different than Western kitchen knives for sure. But once you sort of get used to, the octagonal handle and everything, beautiful. Beautiful to work with. There was a set that, and if you really want the most kick-ass knives, you don't want to buy a set, but I don't want to spend $1,000 per knife. Like, if I was to buy, a set of nice Japanese kitchen knives, I would buy a set, like around a $400 or $500 set. You're still getting good knives. You're not getting crap. It's just you're not getting super high end. But I don't need super high end. If I had super high end, I would freak out every time someone else washed the knives and put them in the drying rack. As it is, even at a $400 or $500 set, I would still freak out about the drying rack. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I took I've never taken a Japanese cooking course. My wife and I took an Indian 1-session cooking class. We did butter chicken. It was a great time. We got to make our own butter chicken, learn about the herbs and the spices and stuff, and prep a meal, and then have it with a nice glass of wine. I like those experiential things, cook something, take a cooking class or a whiskey tasting, or a wine and food pairing. I love stuff like that. I always have a good time. Which reminds me that I should probably do another whiskey tasting on my other channel soon, or something tasting. Haven't done it in a long time. Okay, David just checked out Sean James's latest video. He's going redneck in Arizona during the winter months. Okay, so he's snowbirding it. I watch so much YouTube that I can't understand a word of it, but I love the techniques. Japanese bartending, like cocktail culture, is also very cool. It's an extremely distinct method with even just the way they move, these minimalist movements and everything. It's really cool. It just reminded me when you said that they got their handgun licenses and stuff, that I'll just briefly say that I just renewed my license the night before last. But I'm licensed for non-restricted and restricted, but I never got anything restricted. I wanted to get into competition shooting, but the club memberships are so expensive, and the boomsticks are a lot of money for something that you can't really use outside of a gun club, or just you're shooting at paper, right? But because I've got this restricted category on my license, I'm going to get a call from the cops asking me about what do I got? And I'm going to have to say, I wanted to renounce that part, but I just couldn't be arsed to do the extra steps. Again. Christy, watch those Korean campers because you love watching what they make. Yep. I love those videos. I love them. I mean, I wouldn't buy all that stuff to camp with, right? That's like, generally speaking, there's a whole lot of glamping going on, but yeah, but I do love watching those videos, you know, and there's like an almost ASMR quality to a bunch of them because there's not a lot of talking to the camera. It's just like you're watching someone quietly do their thing, and it's just fascinating to me. David the Instigator is also licensed for both. Destiny knows exactly who we're talking about. Yeah, exactly what we're talking about. Country Boy, never got your R. You saw the writing on the wall. Yeah, I guess I should have as well. But also, like, my renewal is like $98 instead of 68, or 92 instead of 68 because of the extra R. But when they eat, I gotta mute. Fair enough. Yeah, it's hilarious. And in fact, it's a good thing I didn't buy the boomsticks because both of what I would have bought have now gone from restricted to prohibited. David's not renouncing anything. They can take my license from my cold, dead hand. Chrissy, do you have a favorite one of those channels? Like, there's a couple that I used to watch, but I can't remember any of them right now because I haven't watched them in several months. Destiny, I think you like them as well, eh? Yeah. Do you have a favorite? I don't remember who my favorite one was, but for a long time I was like practically mainlining them because they were so relaxing. There's one who drives a Jeep, which I found interesting for someone in Korea. I was like, how do you have enough room for that thing? I should probably get rid of this Blade HQ. I wonder if they sell that. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be able to buy it from across the border. So shift don't matter. There's a big name Canadian knife retail website that the name of which wow. Okay. There's a big name Canadian online retailer of knives, the name of which escapes me right now because I have not gone there in a long time. Whew. Okay, I got through that. Because I wonder if that moose, or whatever it's called, what the hell's it called? The moose. That folder. I posted about it in the Discord, but I wonder if it might be there. They have a lot of stuff. That's a good whiskey. It's just weird that they I mean, I guess that shows that it's a handmade job, like a hand, you know, because that's really off kilter. That's really off center. I don't mind it. I kind of like stuff like that. You know, I sure as hell ain't perfect, so I'm not going to expect any perfection from anyone else. I could go for some cheese. Excuse me, folks. Yeah, exactly. It's a character bottle. Yeah, that's it. It's the Moose Lake, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, it's I you're right, it's still out of stock. And I don't know if it would make it across the border. So if I could find like a Canadian retailer of it, that would likely be the way to go for me, for sure. Because that's not technically something that can't be imported. Like it's not a gravity open or anything like that. But I think I asked to be notified when it comes back in stock. Yeah, the reason I want that is it's because it's the last component I need for my Nesmic trio. That is exactly the pattern that Nesmic had, and so that's why I want that, so I could do my video. So when it's in stock, but I'm gonna. What the hell's the name of that Canadian retailer? Kieran Camp, Yo-Yo Camp. Yep. Soberry. Yes, those. I think I've seen some Kieran Camp. I've seen a lot of Yo-Yo and the Soberry. Yeah. Fish 13 because he lives in a warehouse where he stores his. Okay. Um. I will write those all down. Yeah, I like Yo-Yo Camp. Hold on. Let me do this in an orderly fashion. Yo-Yo Camp. Kieran Camp. I think I've seen a couple. You started watching Fish 13. Okay. Country Boy. Yes, I think you're right. I think it should. I would be optimistic. No, I'm not thinking about Bushcraft Canada, though they have a very good knife selection, but I don't remember seeing this there. There's an online retailer that like just does knives. Cutting Edge. No, that's not it. Is that it? House of Knives is, I think, what I was thinking about. But Cutting Edge Cutlery Company. Is that a store? Oh yeah, it's got brands. I'll check it out. Got Chris Reeve, Civi, ASP, Benchmade, Booker, Buck, CRKT, Roman, Flytanium. I don't know them. Zwilling, Kershaw, K-Bar, Shun. Yeah, Shun, by the way, is a company that makes the Japanese kitchen knife set that I was looking at. I will check them. But yeah, Bushcraft Canada has a nice knife selection for sure. And they're in Kelowna. So I keep thinking that maybe next time I'm seeing my dad, I'll just run to Kelowna and see if they actually have a storefront. I would probably contact them first to make sure I don't spend 42 minutes on the road for nothing. But no, it's the wrong direction. I was going to say I would pop into to Douglas, the distillery, but I believe that's the other way, going down to Oliver. Spoken like anyone here knows what the hell I'm talking about, right? will check it out. Christy Grounds. I will check it out. I might get a little Japanese, like a paring knife, because what I would like to get a really nice little knife for when I'm doing my cocktail videos and I'm slicing limes or whatever. I want a nicer knife for that. You know, something that looks good on screen. These shuns are too expensive. Like, for instance, here's probably exactly what I would buy, but it's like $172. If I could find something closer to 100, that would be better. It's really nice though. Let me share this. Let me just share something I want to buy again, because apparently I'm all about being a consumer hoe. I'm going to share it anyway. I'm not buying it. So, I mean, that's perfect. That's probably like I was going to say birch, but yeah, I love the look of this. 3.5 inch paring knife. Yep. Second of the most essential kitchen knives every cook should have. Absolutely. Okay, VG Max. 34 layers of stainless Damascus on each side. I'm starting to see why it's $173. Paca wood handles. Okay, so Paca is a it's kind of an engineered wood. But Paca wood does tend to be resistant to getting destroyed by water while you're washing the knife. Country way. If I go out to see my dad, yeah, he lives in Penticton. I think I told you. Maybe we could meet at, I don't know, a national park for lunch or something. I think it's really nice. Close the window, Jess. We're not being a consumer hoe tonight. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the yawning, the yawnage. Let me just check something, because my girls ain't home yet. But I mean, it kind of doesn't matter because they don't got school this week. They ain't got no school. They will be home in 47 minutes. Marcel's back. How's it going, Marcel? I hope the mummy duties weren't too strenuous. Just looking at the time. I think you're in a different time zone than I am, because here it's like it's 22:25, but I believe you're at least an hour earlier than me. Probably more than that, because I think Hike with Mike is an hour earlier than me, and he's in Florida. Excuse me. Yeah. Little Fish said, got the teenager in the shower, and I brushed my dog's teeth and put them to bed. I was not expecting the dog's teeth. So now you're free. Everybody's been seen to, so now you're all about freedom. Do you have any tea left? Yes, I do. Peanut trucker says. Marcel and I are an hour behind you. Mike is the same as you. Okay. Okay. It all becomes clear. Suddenly, all my geography knowledge has honed in on this moment. I visualize it. Florida. Texas. And wherever the hell Chris is tonight. So is Louisiana an hour behind me then, for instance? Tennessee, stuff like that? Wait, no. Yeah, because Florida, Tennessee's over, but I think the camera's getting that backwards. I know very little things about Tennessee. I know about Kingston because an ex of mine, her family has a ranch near there, or a horse farm ranch. I think I know of. Memphis is in Tennessee, isn't it? Memphis, Tennessee? That rings right. Nashville? Christy says, whoops, hold on. I'm just waiting for that to come through in the side chat, my chat. I am 2 hours, but come this weekend, it will be 3 hours. We're changing 2. So I think you're going to stay 2 hours, right? Oh, no. Or are you not changing? Is Arizona some place that does not change? Yes, from your house in Florida, that's below Alabama all the way. Oh, right. Different time zone. Central time. Okay. Right. Christy doesn't change. Don't ever change, Christy. We like you just the way you are. Yep. Mark, it is this weekend. We no longer live in a world that requires the time change. I say that with regret because it means that I just don't want to lose the hour, because I think it's this weekend we lose rather than gain, right? And Excess saying don't change. Not my favorite band. I mean, I wasn't happy when the guy died, but I feel that like their last 2 albums were kind of unnecessary because it sounded to me like it was just the exact same thing going on. I know that Dead in the Wool In Excess fans will hate what I just said, but it did sound like the last album sounded like the album before. Not one of my favorite bands anyway, like even at the best of times. Country Boy agrees with me. Haven't needed to change the time in a really long time. For sure. Absolutely. I do feel a nostalgic pull towards those old school or older world things, you know? In the same way as I see the natural world charm of using inches and feet and how they are directly related to body parts or the size of an egg or whatever, you know? There's a concrete reference happening there, whereas with centimeters and meters and millimeters, they reference math. I get that. And though I think imperial measurements are dumb, I still feel sort of a homey warmth towards them, because Canada went metric the year I was born, right? Or started to. Like the date for metricization, anyway, I don't know how to pronounce that in either language, was 1972. And the deal was that the United States was going to do it with us. I don't know if you guys noticed, but you didn't. Although you kind of stealth did, because the official measurement of what an inch now is in reference to a metric measurement now. But like, yeah, so like part of me likes the sort of the time honoredness of the time switch and the sort of the down home country reason for it. The same part of me who romanticizes the idea of like walking through my own field of wheat growing up and coming up through the earth and running my hand through it, even though I would hate being up before the sun every single day to milk the damn cows. I wouldn't mind milking the cows. It's just the getting up in the dark. Um, Pine Martin called me a romantic for for my attraction for those sort of old home and hearth kind of things. But the logical me still wants to stop changing the frickin' hour twice a year. You know? Like the logical me, the one who's all about metric, and all about stuff like that. I see the value of not changing the clocks. Marcel loved In Excess. I did not, but it took me a while to come around to Duran Duran as well. Like I only started really actively liking them way after their time was over. Same with like Depeche Mode. Well, no, I did kind of like them at the time, but I really only started appreciating them kind of after the fact. I mean, they're still around, but or they've or they do like a reunion tour every now and again. I'm not sure, but Peanut Sugar says, growing up on a dairy farm, we milked cows before school and after supper every day. I miss it now, but I'm with everyone. There's no need to change the time. Yeah, because I remember that the people arguing against stopping the change, like, you're going to confuse the cows. And everyone else is like, say that again, but slowly. Yeah, I was trying to remember when he died, but yeah, I knew it was in the 90s, but for some reason, I thought it was even earlier, like 94 or something. But yeah. Yeah, he's been gone a long time. And I wonder what that band would sound like today if he hadn't, right? Like you always wonder what, because nobody stays exactly the same forever, right? Like, I have the same thought about like, what if Jimi Hendrix had never died? Like, would he have just gone on to make more and more innovative stuff, or would he have started to become a caricature of himself after a certain point? Like, if you think of the Stones, it's unnecessary for them to still make music. They're just they're just a caricature of themselves at this point, Would he have done that? Probably, maybe. What's his name? Slowhand. I mean, there's no need for him to keep making music. But then there are guys like, say, Bruce Cockburn, who, he's still like, I would go and see him for sure. Country Boy is right in the middle of the confusion. In construction, I'm Imperial, but I was trained in European machinery, so there I use metric, two separate brains. I have a fat head, so that works out okay. I saw a story that the U.S. tariffing and everything on our lumber might force Canada to go to metric so that we can sell to anyone else, right? Because I don't know if you've watched a lot of like Australian woodworking and stuff, but their wood's measured in mils, right? Or in millimeters. And so we might just be pushed towards the lumber sizes that the rest of the world uses just by default, because we're trying to find other markets for our wood, which will be interesting because I'm with you. I mean, to me, wood always happens in inches. Cocktails always happen in inches, even though even an official Canadian jigger reads in milliliters, but nobody uses them. But it will be interesting if we start seeing our lumber sized in metric, for sure. Yeah, I knew that they tried to sub in a singer, but I kind of, it seemed like they dropped off the face of the earth, and it looks like you're explaining why. But yeah. Michael Hutchence is hard to substitute. Some celebrity deaths really kind of kill. I don't mean that literally, but I mean they really just do my head in, you know. I'm not a person who gives a crap about celebrity gossip or celebrity news generally. I just don't. I think whatever, they're people. Don't waste my time with this. I don't care who's married to who or who's getting divorced in Hollywood. I do not care. But when it's something like, you know, Robin Williams passing, shall we say, or Prince, or, you know, I sometimes wonder what they would be doing today if they were still here. And I'm sort of riffing off of what you said, that it's hard to substitute Michael Hutchence, for sure. And I wonder what music they would be making today. Would the band still be together? Would they have broken up? Was he, you know, a selfish asshole who wanted to be a solo artist, or was he a great team player? I don't know. I don't look into celebs enough to have an opinion about that, but I do wonder what all these departed artists would necessarily sound like today, especially the ones who, like, you know, Chet Atkins. I don't worry, you know, I don't think about that. I mean, or Les Paul. You know, these guys were kind of retired by the time they went out anyway. But someone like Prince, who was still putting stuff out, and technically could still be putting stuff out because the vault is so huge. George Michael, he wasn't finished yet, you know. Robin Williams was not finished yet. I wonder, and he, like, the stories about him, or of like everywhere he just spoke to someone, he seemed to bring joy. Oh, right. Chris Cornell, yeah. Nope, that's not who I meant to bring up. But I agree with you on all three of those. Anthony Bourdain, I deeply wish was still here, but I did mean to put that on screen. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of him, but yeah, another voice that it's really hard to replace, for sure. But yeah, Robin Williams I took personally because I think I've mentioned to you guys that he, or watching his stuff, whatever, got me through some deep shit. Anthony Bourdain, I couldn't understand that, because that guy was bringing value to the world, you know. Starting to like Jacob Collier, yeah, he's an interesting guy. That guy is musically special, for sure. Yeah. Jim was heartbroken when Jimmy Buffett passed. He was the only artist I'd love to see in concert again. Yeah, because he wasn't retired. I don't know if he was making new music, but he was still playing shows, right? But was he really touring, or was he sort of doing the resort circuit when he left? There's all kinds of artists that I feel that I missed the boat on, you know, that I would have loved to have seen. Some of them have passed, and some of them have just decided they're not doing it anymore. Like my fiddle player saw Paul Simon and Sting in concert, like on stage at the same time. I would love to have seen that because I would have loved to have seen Paul Simon play, do a show. And Sting, I saw the Police when they did their sort of reunion tour, because I had always thought I'd missed the boat on them. And so when they came around, I was like, I'm spending whatever it takes for 8th row seats. So worth it. Expensive, but so freaking worth it. When they're dead, you really have missed the bus. You really have missed the opportunity. I mean, it ain't coming back. But I kind of feel that, artists retire and then like 10 or 20 years later they do a reunion tour because they need to buy a new boat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah, so oh, hey, we're coming down the home stretch here, people. It's 22:43. When Gordon Lightfoot passed, I was thinking about I've forgotten one of the other names that is central to this thought I have. But like it's like we lost some artists in a Canadian context in Canada. We lost some of our artists who kind of made Canada cooler in my eyes. Like um, we lost Man from Spirit of the West and Gord Downey, and then Gordon Lightfoot. And I was thinking, like, one day I'm gonna wake up in a world with none of these guys, or like Bruce Cockburn and Paul Simon in it. And I don't know how to live in that world because those guys, they all encapsulate a side of music that is not fed anymore. It just isn't there. Yeah. Anyway, Country Boy says that Jacob Collier is a talented young man. His mind and ear are so attuned. I know it's very impressive to watch that guy work for sure. Apparently, okay. So Jimmy Buffett was touring, making new music until he got sick. Okay, I didn't know he was still making new music. I love it when the cover is better than the original. I'm looking for what you're referring to. But yeah, I agree with that. When the cover is better than the original, that's really cool. Sheryl Crow's version of "Sweet Child of Mine" better than Axl. I don't remember her version of "Sweet Child of Mine." The Guns N' Roses version, every bass player likes that song. And dude, Duff McKagan used to say, "Man, I don't even practice," and like, there's no way that guy doesn't practice. And then somebody kind of blew the cover off of that and said, he's full of shit. I walked through the studio while he was practicing all fucking day. So Oh yeah, Neil Peart, yeah, too. Yeah, absolutely. Interesting, fabulous player. Interesting guy. And it's funny because I'm bringing up all these names because these are guys who I grew up with in the world, and but like one of my favorite drummers of all time is like Steve Gadd, right? Like if you've heard 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, you know what killer drumming is, and not killer as in big, but just interesting and tight and classy, and that's what Steve Gadd did. He was an unbelievably talented and in demand drummer for a good reason. His lines were cool. Um, Yeah. And we always think that, oh my God, everyone's dying all of a sudden. But this is what happens when an entire generation of musicians gets to that kind of age, right? And there are other musicians in the world. It's just we grew up with these guys. And so when these guys pass on us, we're like, oh, not another one. But meanwhile, when someone, in the 29 club, like uh, Winehouse goes, for some reason we see that as different. Well, it is different because they're younger and usually disappearing into the bottom of a bottle or something. But people die and are replaced by another generation all the time, constantly. That's the way it works. We die, the worms eat us, fertilize the earth creates food, the next generation eats food, then they grow up, they do great things, or not, but I hope they make great things, and then they die and become worm food, right? That's what it's about. You go through your life and you become food for another animal. And it doesn't matter how rich or famous you are, you don't get away from that. All of us. And to reference what Destiny said, if you've heard the Johnny Cash version of Hurt by like Nine Inch Nails, yeah, I agree with your statement, but there will be other musical geniuses, and that's why we're talking about Collier, because he absolutely counts in that pantheon for sure. I mean, Rush, I don't like Rush, but that's not because I don't think they were great, right? I have massive respect for all three of those guys, because all three of them are top tier musicians. Interesting stuff, very well played, just technically amazing. I just hate Geddy Lee's voice, right? But that's not about them not being good. Same thing with Led Zeppelin, musically fabulous, right? A lot of very interesting bass lines, guitar parts, top tier musicians. Hated the voice. When you come to someone like Paul Simon, is his voice fabulous? No. But what about the songwriting? His guitar playing is tip top. His songwriting is fabulous in terms of like lyrics and musicality. His taste in backup musicians is impeccable. He got into a lot of crap when he imported a whole bunch of guys from South Africa, because we weren't doing well. The West wasn't really doing business with South Africa at the time. But his taste in collaborators is impeccable. We're all replaceable. We are. Absolutely. I think about this sometimes because the first YouTube bushcrafter I ever watched was Bushcraft Barton's. Okay. I wonder if he's still putting out work. Hold on. My friend Mike Barton, yeah. How to build. Okay, that was 11 years ago. 9 years ago. But these aren't even his channel. Bushcraft Barton's. That's not him. That's a different Bushcraft Barton's. Interesting. Maybe he's not. He was interviewed 8 years ago. I'm not seeing his channel. Because I was going to say, how many of the YouTube bushcrafters I watched and learned from and came to love, um, interacting, well, watching, aren't doing it anymore. Like, where the hell did Scrambled O go? Right, he gone. I love that guy's work, and I love the fact that Camille and I used to watch him together, and it was like a bonding thing between me and her. You know, Bushcraft Bartons doesn't seem to be doing anything anymore. Like, how many of these people? I mean, you know, what's his name? Mike McQuinlan, MCQ Bushcraft, sort of still maybe doing, but he really moved his um, focus onto, you know, the Jeep thing and everything. Effie Jr. died. He had cancer and he died. I remember him telling me that he wasn't going to make it, and I was standing on a ladder and I had to get the hell down and sit down. You know, Stein North is dead, right? He passed on. He was older though. The reason I'm sort of dwelling on all these examples is just because we always think that everybody's gone, everybody's dying, but the fact is it's just this constant cycle, but we don't necessarily always get the new names popping onto our For You pages or whatever. So it feels like suddenly there's this huge hole, and for us there is. For us there is, because that's a generation that's gone. But if we just sort of look up, we'll see that the online or music or whatever world that we're in, if we just stick our heads a little higher, it's still full. Yeah, there are holes down there, but it's still full. And there's new stuff to discover. And some of that new stuff is just as good. Some of it's even better. But it represents coming out of our comfort zone. Because suddenly our comfort zone is empty. It's got little holes everywhere, little voids where creators or musicians used to live, or actors or writers. When Umberto Eco died, I wasn't distraught, but I felt that one because he's my favorite. I don't know if I keep having this conversation. I don't know if Umberto Eco is one of my favorite authors, or if he just happens to have some of my favorite translators, right? Because he wrote in Italian. Anyway, I just got some modeling there. It's because I was trying to show you guys that I can really feel. Country boy, I already see my daughter's style changing from the young, angry punk rocker that she started out with her band, changing to a softer, more thoughtful musician. I tried to check out her Facebook page, but I could not access it. Or was it Instagram? I don't know. I tried to access her stuff, but I could not, for some reason. I do not know why, but I wanted to check it out. It's okay though, because we're finished in 4 minutes. Did you see Hart's rendition of Stairway to Heaven when Zeppelin was honored at the Kennedy Center? Yes, I did. Sure did. Countrywide says that feelings are overrated. I am trying to not feel that way. But I'm emotionally dysregulated, so it's tough. But yes. So let me adjust my seating position here. Gotta get comfy. Ow, Jesus. Oh, geez, I'm getting old there, peoples. So for our last 3 minutes, does anyone want to say anything hilarious or deep? Does anyone want to define a new genre of music or art in the next 3 minutes? Destiny is saying, okay, thank you for the live, Jess. Take care. My side chat is bonsoir et bisous, and take care, Marcus, wherever you are tonight. Again, Destiny leaves with mere minutes left of the live stream. It's okay, Destiny. I mean, I know you're already gone, but my heart can handle it. Bam, bam. Another successful night of live streaming. I really want to do a stream with like an actual subject matter pretty soon, though. I'll try to come up with a couple of subjects this week if I don't forget. Jim's out as well. Pea soup, y'all. Pea soup, all, he says. Good night, Jim. Sleep well. I hope you have a great week. Peanut Trucker says, I have a hard time with death. Every death in my family I learned thousands of miles from them driving down the road, always detached. Yeah, that bites. I've had 2 this month, cancer, both times. And they're both people I've been meaning to call and check up on for months. And trust me, people, if there's somebody you have been meaning to call, do it. Because if they pass, you cannot fix that. Country Boy has a hard time accessing some of her stuff too. She's the media person, but she's busy playing bass. I'll talk to her about it. Okay. Or just send me the link again, and maybe it's because I wasn't signed into Facebook or Instagram or wherever she is. Yeah, exactly. Call them, because you don't want to feel what I've been feeling all month. This public service announcement was brought to you by Jesse and YouTube. We are at 22:59, so that gives me exactly 1 minute to say to everyone that I'm thrilled that you guys keep coming back every week. Sometimes I know it's worth your while. Sometimes I'm kind of wondering why you guys stuck it out till the end. But I love seeing your names show up and the conversation and stuff. And I guess between now and next Tuesday, everybody, for land's sakes, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, lovelies. Lovelies. I'm not going to do that again. That sucked. Good night, friends.